Supplier collaboration is a hot topic right now. And last month, I attended the AIAG conference with David Leich, Executive Director, Global Supply Chain at General Motors. And he talked about supplier collaboration and how actually transformed the way they are dealing with shortages right now. And this summer, McKinsey released as well a study on multi-tier supplier collaboration. And I want to share with you some of the findings. Obviously, COVID-19 crisis has led significant disruptions, right? With factory closing temporarily or even permanently, and leaving the downstream supply chain in the dark, uncertain about where the materials are or when they are going to come, right? You have heard about shortages about semiconductors, ABS, steel, lumber. There are so many. And we see that manufacturing supply chains are vulnerable, but technology could help. And McKinsey says that even though supply chain has been pushed at the top of the corporate agenda, and that we know that collaboration is critical, they still have, like, our corporations still have issues to create integrated supply chains. And they identify 3 hurdles: tech, operating model, and trust. Tech, actually, because we are still dealing with old technologies, like, for example, EDI, which is really to exchange data one-to-one. And I would add as well that the use of Excel is great for short messages, but when you want to exchange a high amount of numerical data that is potentially quite complex as well, sending an attachment of an Excel spreadsheet by email is not the best. They talk as well about operating models. And so that is because, for example, they highlight that when you want to share some piece of data regarding, for example, the carbon footprint, you need standards to just agree on how to measure this. And this is still lacking in some areas, which is fair. And then the third one is trust. And it can come as well, like difficulties to open and to collaborate with your suppliers because you're cautious about the level of confidentiality and what you can share, which is normal. But actually, it comes as well from the fact that we are using legacy tools, like coming back to the first point. When you receive an attachment, the data which is in it is already outdated, and the potential of errors is actually very high. So do you trust the data you receive from your stakeholders, right? So they did a survey with 100 large corporations, and they involved multiple sectors. And what they have demonstrated is that companies that regularly collaborated with suppliers demonstrated higher growth, lower operating costs, and greater profitability than their industry peers. So higher growth, lower operating costs, and greater profitability. That is demonstrated. So when you collaborate with your suppliers, you can have a more profitable company. And who wouldn't like that, right? A company that is able to invest in R&D, launch innovations, potentially pay their employees a little bit more as well, right? So they wanted to prove the point numerically. So what they did is that they took the most efficient industry, which is the automotive industry. And I quote, "For the global automotive industry, we found that integrating those activities would save OEMs and their suppliers between 40 and 65 billion euros per year. At the 5 to 7% margin typical in the industry, that represents 50% profitability boost. 40 to 65 billion euros per year. That's massive for the automotive industry on top of that. So do you imagine the opportunities for the other manufacturing industries? That is really, really big. And so I will let you have a look directly at the article and the graph. So you can see that you have opportunities in different areas, logistics, inventory, but the one like warehousing as well, transport, but the one that is the most interesting to me, because it's my domain, is production efficiency. So as a summary, if you manage to share demand planning, long-term forecast with your suppliers, and that they are able as well to share this forecast with their own suppliers, they can actually even out the capacity, the production. They can flow back the information to you when there are capacity risks. So this planning collaboration has a huge impact. It has 25 to 50 billion euros in benefits for this area only. So at Ravacan, what we are doing is that we allow you as a client to consolidate the demands per part number, per supplier, and share that automatically with your suppliers. And this is what McKinsey is highlighting. Tech is ready. Solutions like Ravacan are connecting multiple companies, so what they call multi-enterprise supply chain networks, together to exchange information regarding demand, capacity, prices, and lead time. This is our specialty. So I invite you to take a look at this study. This is very interesting. And what are you waiting for? You can have tomorrow or even today a more profitable, more transparent supply chain if you use solutions like ours. So take a look.